Good evening and welcome to the Good Faith Podcast, where we maneuver around debauchery, attempting to find harmony with our fellow man and unpack degeneracy. I'm your host, Ninjah Bullock. We understand you could have been a million other places, and the time is the most precious commodity any of us have. So from the bottom of our heart, we'd like to share our gratitude with all of our viewers. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Due to the sensitive nature of some of our topics, we hope you will shield youngins from some of the vulgarity that may be spewed here. It must be noted that the views expressed by the panel are not necessarily the views of the Good Faith Podcast, and we are not liable for any results incurred by the utilization of our advice, nor are we a fiduciary and assume no culpability of investment performance as a result of following our financial advice. Our simple aim is to entertain and to inform. Anybody living in the greater Philadelphia area interested in making an appearance on our show can reach me in a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Christopher Bulick. That's also my Venmo if you're interested in making a campaign contribution to facilitate our meteoric rise to the top. This is your notification that the Good Faith Podcast is now available on not only YouTube, but Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and RSS.com. I wrote down to bash Deezer and TuneIn. Those are, I guess, two other media platforms that don't fucking work. I think TuneIn's not accepting any more podcasts, and Deezer is just trash. So fuck them.
Never even heard of them.
yeah, they're fucking nobodies. We're going to continue pushing out these episodes and improving our craft so long as our following continues to grow. If you are interested in becoming a paid subscriber to our Patreon, we offer 2 paid tiers. As a candidate of the people, I solemnly swear I won't misappropriate the funds. I won't spend them at Myrtle Beach golf courses. I won't gas up a corporate jet to fly to Tulum. I won't fund arms dealers in the Middle East with Stinger missiles and Harrier jets. I won't buy a bunch of stupid shit. And I'm always fucking...
There it is! It's beautiful! Take your hat off, boy, that's a $1 bill! I open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions! Oh, I like money.
In all seriousness, times are tough, and any proceeds we receive will be going towards avoiding eviction, keeping the lights on, medicating Clark with all of his health concerns, and feeding our gracious guests. Once again, if you feel that you've been given value by us, it takes a little extra effort to like, subscribe, and leave a comment singing our praises. Also, a thought that I had, which would be awesome, is, a lot of people don't like to really share their true feelings. They're afraid that, their name will be going up and it might, reflect poorly on their reputation or whatever. So feel free to create an alternative Google account and subscribe that to our podcast. You could name it something silly, something funny, like name it Punjabi's Ghost or name it, whatever. And, that'll help us even more if we have a bunch of extra bots and you don't have to worry about your job hearing your first and last name on a podcast, The path to notoriety will be for our listeners to spread the good word of the pod. If you have somebody in mind who would agree with our content, may be informed, or even ridicule us, send a link to your friends and family. All publicity is good publicity. Our objective is to have balance between the red and the blue. So if you have somebody in mind who enjoys listening to pods, please spread our channel. Even if it's just a spouse or a child who will subscribe, never tune in for a second of their life, leave it in their pocket, whatever. It'll push us up in the almighty algorithm, and for that, we will be eternally endeared to y'all. If you're interested in joining our movement, we represent Hashtag IRYOBYOAWMO, which stands for I respect your opinion only because it aligns with my own. Oh, see, I put an extra. Wait, it's IRYOBYIOAWMO. It's a long one, I know. It's okay to show love and tolerance to anybody with an aligned opinion. Feel free to disrespect anybody whose opinion doesn't mirror yours and treat them with bratty toxicity. After all, respect is only earned by someone with an identical belief system as your own. IRYOBYOIAWMO. What does that mean, Journey?
What does it mean, or how do we pronounce it?
How do you say
it? Yama. As I'm choking.
Yes.
This is one last reminder for our panelists to posture their bodies and direct their voices straight to the microphone. Our monetization depends directly upon the sound quality. When our commenters chime in, it will come through as a highly complex AI voice named Gladys. Can we please get candlelights and RIPs in the chat for Punjabi? Hashtag LLP. Please, even if you're in the middle of the most profound thought of your life, if El Gato or Whitey begins speaking, we ask that you sharply cut out any communication to enhance the audible coherence of the show. A trick I heard from one of our incredible listeners is to imagine a grapefruit between the microphone and your lips. You should never leave more space between the mic and your lips than a grapefruit where the pod will be scuffed, and if that occurs, may death and dishonor beget your entire bloodline. Peanut, that doesn't necessarily apply to you. I think that mic picks like shit up extremely well, so you can kind of just talk. Like
So yell as loud as possible.
Sure, yeah.
He always does that.
At this time, we're going to introduce our guests. So would you please tell me your name, your age, your occupation, and your highest level of education completed? You want to go first, Peanut?
Yeah, Peanut. 34. I do science. I have my bachelor's.
All right.
And I'm Cherney. I'm 32. I have a bachelor's in accounting, and I work at a credit union.
All right. And I am Ninja. I'm 33. My job is I wear many hats nowadays. My 9 to 5 is a life skills coach. I am a photographer and face painter for the Philadelphia Eagles, and now I'm a podcast host. My highest level of education completed is an associate's degree in liberal arts. So now can you guys tell me your relationship status and longest relationship?
Married. Longest was 7.
All right.
Single, 7 years.
And I'm single and I'll say 3 years. Now, can you guys tell me your orientation? Peanut?
Straight.
All right.
Straight and demi.
And I think I'll say straight and demi as well.
That's a twist.
Demi.
Why not? Why am I not demi?
Because you're way more into physical appearance than personality.
But are demi people not into physical appearance?
It's not that they're not into physical appearance, it's that they take personality first and they like someone more when they have that emotional connection with them already. I don't it's really you.
Know what demi means, but if demi means that you prefer physical over emotional, I absolutely agree that you're not demi.
But all right, emotional,
like an emotional connection.
Emotional connection, absolutely.
You need that first.
I might not prioritize it first.
Then you're not demi.
Okay. Then I'm just plain boring heterosexual. Your political affiliation?
Democrats.
Democratic Socialist.
And I am an anarchist / libertarian. Or do you guys want to try and convince me that I'm not?
No.
No, at this point, I think I believe you.
You're
I think you actually, though. I mean, I understand the whole anarchy thing.
All right, so we got some ground rules to help this show go more smoothly. Number one rule is respect. The Good Faith Podcast endeavors to harbor a culture of respect. Although some topics may be contentious in nature, it is of paramount importance that a general good faith exists between panel members. It's perfectly acceptable to attack another's opinion or mentality, but ad hominem attacks are strictly prohibited. An example of this prohibition would be Billy, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, not Billy, you're the dumbest person I've ever met. Rule number 2 is honesty. Upon your arrival on the show, it's expected of you not to be deliberately obstinate. Due to the complex discussions that we embark on, a certain level of creativity and imagination is necessary. The above withstanding, you may be asked to step outside of your worldview and think of things from a hypothetical perception. And if asked is stubborn, I don't know, or deeply entrenched failure to conceive alternative ideas is harmful to the good spirit of healthy conversation. We hope to avoid echo chambers where the room is just parroting each other. And we also hope to avoid creating an intellectual Charlottesville where two opposing groups are shouting across the table at each other without ever attempting to consider the other's position. Panel composition is deliberate, and though a lot of times, people flake or are not able to, come, so sometimes that can alter the composition of the panel if, But I always do try and have an equal amount of liberals and conservatives, if it's possible to do so. And to avoid piling on to one member, please just remember opinions are like assholes. Yours is apt to be as wrong as it is right. Rule number 3 is trust. We trust that our guests on the panel will refrain from any hate speech, ill will towards celebrities, particular demographics, and any other general avoidance of anything that can be considered a violation of the terms of service of the platforms and publishers that we choose to post on. While in its infantile stages, the Good Faith Podcast is already video archived. Nudity is strictly prohibited, and in efforts to preserve our reputation, we request that guests of the show avoid intolerant language. Cherney, I know you like to throw around the word Polak, but that's like extremely anti-Polish.
I'm Polish, but
Oh wait, so then you can use it as a term of endearment. Never mind. Okay.
okay.
Do you ever say like, "What's up, my Polak?"
I mean, I'm only like 25% Polish.
It's
like,
you can still use it then. Never mind.
okay.
And Peanut, you are Italian, so you're allowed to say words like guinea, greaseball, Guido, wop.
I know you're part Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess, but like, am I really Italian? No. It doesn't count.
Like, you're really Italian. It's like,
My mom is from Italy, yeah.
Okay, so you're appropriately whopping, which means your pH levels are perfectly balanced.
Eat it up and catch a shark.
the only WAP we want to hear on this show is wet ass pussy. No religious persecution, even though Scientologists are fucking stupid. No terroristic threats. No, justifying or validating Son of Sam for mowing over those pedestrians, even if they were jaywalking. That's irrelevant. No other bad faith, derogatory communications. No being ableist. All jokes aside, I really do detest the use of the F word, the N word, and the R word. El Gato may periodically chime in with popular culture sound bites and may even go as far as dropping an N-bomb. But if you'll note, they, them are black. It's their word. Rule number 4 is consideration. Nobody wants to listen to some diatribe by one person except this one. And so please consider the air of the room. Seriously, I was like listening to the last episode and there was a lot of talking over one another. So let's really try and avoid that. It makes it really difficult to understand where shit's going. Just really try not to talk over each other. We asked all our members on the show to contribute equally in their communications and to have a somewhat internal clock when speaking. Don't go over much more than 3 minutes per passage. It hopefully won't be necessary to have a clock where we buzz contestants if they go over their time, like some presidential debate, but please conduct yourself with good courtesy, not interrupting people. And if the host reminds you of this, it's not to reprimand you for poor manners, but to maintain a structure. It might sound something like,
You're done.
You're fucking done, son.
Have we ever had to use that?
Says pack it up.
No, but hopefully, that's good. I have not had. I have, and it makes me feel really bad when I do. When I did it one time to Dirty Dan, and I felt really bad. But the fifth rule is fun. The fifth and final rule is to have fun. We aim at the Good Faith Podcast to build a culture of fun and debate in an attempt to reach across the aisle and perhaps educate and learn things from the many walks of life. Remember, only boring people get bored. If you happen to find yourself bored, offended, irked, kerfuffled, disgusted, bewildered, befuddled, bamboozled, confused, bothered, tired, triggered, enraged, enthralled, floored, or plain old flabbergasted by the flamboyant rigmarole, the P.O. box for our complaints and grievances department is 123 up your fucking ass. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, isn't enthralled a good thing?
Enthralled
Enthralled means you're happy.
Well, if you're enthralled, don't go
ecstatic.
fuck yourself. Thank you for being.
I think Trinity right.
I just
You're
like
enthralled.
probably a couple of these. Yeah, I guess floored is not necessarily a bad thing, is it? You're floored.
Isn't that surprise?
I could see floored being bad.
It maybe yeah.
Also, apparently, kerfluffled isn't you can't use it in the past, and it's not a verb; it's a noun for a fight kind of thing.
Kerfuffle.
I'm gonna take it out of here then. Our complaints and grievances department is 123 up your fucking ass. Go fuck yourself. But seriously, we do endeavor to create a safe space for constructive feedback, and we will consider all complaints and grievances. Finally, a philosophy of curiosity is welcomed. Instead of criticizing a viewpoint you don't understand, please seek to understand it. And I did actually receive a lot of constructive feedback about my show by a coworker last week.
Oh.
And it made me internalize, and I'm not going. I'm gonna try my best. If you guys catch me doing it, I'm going to try my best not to even mention anything about women, because it's a perspective I don't truly understand. So I'm going to make a concerted effort to only talk about men and speak about manhood from my life perspective.
Okay.
Because that's something that I can accurately discuss. With that being said, that's all. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the rules?
No.
I'm really confused to see how you go about this without us talking about women at all.
Isn't that your main talking?
Is that my shtick? Is that my spiel?
Wasn't the whole point of this was relationships kind of?
Well, sure, but I
guess
can't.
from a man's perspective.
Yeah, I can't talk. I can't talk about being a woman. Oh, sorry. I'm literally. I'm literally not going to try to even say that word.
What is that? A bad word?
It's a bad word. No.
Talk about them as not men. There are men and not men. Okay. Can masculinity be toxic?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last time, right?
Can you give an example of how masculinity is? Can you give an example of when masculinity is toxic?
When we excuse masculine behavior as boys being boys.
What, can you give me a specific example though?
Pulling hair, I don't know, just get things that boys do, and just they're it's just boys. They do that.
Two boys pulling each other's hair.
Well, you can pull a girl's hair.
what is this? Two front teeth from the Christmas song? That's I've never witnessed that in my life, but
okay.
Does that
MRD's 1117 said, "I'm here."
Yo, mama. Wait, hold up. Where's my man? Fuck. I thought it was on my main page. What's up, Nasty? What did I? Oh, here we go.
Oh, my man.
Yo, Nasty, you gotta chat in a bunch, all right? I need you. All right, so pulling hair, I guess,
essay.
What?
MRD's 1117 said, "A."
So is SA masculine? Is that what you're saying?
Majority has 99% of perpetuators are men.
But do you
wait? What word are you saying?
Essay.
It's for the word Like you're not supposed to say RAPE on YouTube, apparently. So
I mean, I think you can say like, can you say sexual assault?
you can probably say sexual assault. Yeah.
Oh.
But do you think that a masculine man sexually assaults a non-man or another man?
What?
What?
Do you think that sexual assault is masculine?
Yes. What do you mean?
I don't think it's masculine, but it's mostly done by men.
Okay, but that doesn't necessarily make it masculine.
What makes something masculine then?
That's a good question. I mean,
I would say 99% of men doing it would make it masculine.
So
Well, not 99% of men. 99% of situations.
So when a non-man SAs a man, that's her being masculine, or that's them being masculine.
I guess in a way, it doesn't mean that like.
I think that's a Robert Reacham there. I don't think it's masculine, but yeah, it's mostly men that do it.
Okay, then, well, we need to define what masculine is first.
All right, you have a laptop in front of you. Would you do that, please?
Let's just Google masculine.
Yeah, what is masculinity?
What is masculinity?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like it's just a male characteristic. Masculinity is a set of behaviors, roles, and attributes that are typically associated with men and boys. It can be defined as an identity, a social role, or a form of power. I would say that would fit under that, yeah.
Okay. Do you agree, Peanut?
Yeah, I guess that's never how I thought of the definition.
SA is like one of the biggest power trips, basically.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, yeah.
I mean, what Freud said is that the entire, like everything in life is about sex, except for sex, which is about power. So I think, I kind of agree. I think that, I mean, all sex is about like a power trip or a distribution of power, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Well, that's also Freud, so it's not just you.
Okay. Well,
You think he just made it up? Like...
Do you guys think there are any other?
MRDs 1117 said, so women aren't sexual predators?
When did we say that?
Well, what if a
woman?
What if a non-man statutorily sexually assaulted a young boy? Is she doing something masculine by definition?
By definition, yeah.
Okay. Can femininity be toxic?
Sure.
I think anything can be toxic if you take it to an extreme.
Can you cite an example of toxic femininity? What, like
I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
I should hope you'd be like consistent with your logic if you're so readily able to.
I said yes. What do you mean?
But like, all right,
MRDs 1117 said, and female teachers be getting busy with the students the most.
Where do you get that stat?
I have seen that a lot in papers, but I wonder if it'll.
Occur a lot.
Yeah, it does seem to happen a lot.
But like, all right. Can you cite an example? Can you rack your brain and tell me a way in which femininity is toxic?
I guess.
MRDs 1117 said, so women don't do anything toxic?
We literally just said toxic. Like, Jesus.
Give them an
Why don't you give an example then?
I think he wants to give a few.
MRDs 1117 said, Kentucky and nuts.
Well, I don't necessarily attach gendered traits to toxicity. I think that things are toxic, and I don't necessarily categorize things as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. And frankly, I don't think toxic femininity is ever used. The term toxic masculinity was actually developed by a clinical psychologist who was overseeing like prison inmates who were, murdering each other over, trivial.
Probably some of them from USA as well.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Like,
so that would be toxic masculinity in those.
Sure, but I mean,
aggression is one that is usually considered toxic masculinity.
Well, you guys have made it utterly abundant that you can you can make examples for toxic masculinity. Can you make examples for toxic femininity?
I guess like the newest fourth wave of feminism where they want to be kind of more in power than the other gender in general.
So like misandry?
Well, yeah, misandry is definitely toxic
femininity.
Just like misogyny is toxic masculinity.
Sure.
Like a hatred for the other gender is toxic, and it's for that gender.
But yeah, that's not associated with a gender. That's just like a
misogyny is associated.
Right, but it doesn't have to be. It's just like the general hating of the other gender, right? Like you don't have to dissociate between men and women.
Well, there's internalized misogyny.
They're just people that are toxic.
Misogyny too, which is if a non-man were to make remarks about a non-man. Yeah, I think when you look at like a population of toxic people, I feel like it's going to be split like 50-50 pretty evenly. Yeah, like you see when you look at you can tell when someone's a toxic person, and like you can tell pretty quickly. Yeah, and we live in America, which is the land of toxicity. Absolutely, we were basically built off it. All right. I like to do a reason I like to start with the delusion calculator is because I think it's a good opportunity for people, especially like you, Peanut, in a relationship to step out of their life perspective and to put themselves in other shoes. And to make this easier, I came up with a hypothetical. So a wormhole opens up in the door right there. I kick you through. You go to an alternate universe. You go to Earth B, right? In Earth B, Peanut B and Katie B are married. So you cannot get with Katie B unless you want to wreck a home in an alternate universe. His own home? You'd be wrecking your own
That's a topic I want to bring up. But we can wait for your thing.
What? Wrecking your own home?
No. Well, related to that. Why do we call the third party the home wrecker instead of the person that's cheating? The home is already wrecked.
But it's because that's the person who enjoys doing the wrecking.
I mean, maybe they just didn't. Also, there's a polygamy thing, but maybe they just enjoy the person.
Yeah, but that's more of an affair than a home wrecker.
All right, so let's discuss this first of all. Are you going to respect the holy matrimony of Earth B, Peanut, and Katie?
I mean, I see what you're trying to do here. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but we'll see.
Well, no, yes or no. Are you going to wreck the home of your alternate universe self and his alternate universe bride?
Potentially. I'm not sure. I'm giving non-committal answers. Yeah.
Why?
All right.
It's basically his wife.
It's not though.
But it's the same person, isn't it?
Like if I went to this dimension, I could technically just kill my own self, and then I would just be married again.
I don't know if you
can be a murderer and a home wrecker.
I don't know if you can just murder them and not be punished in Earth B.
I don't know. I feel like if you murder yourself in another universe, it's easier to get away with. Because then you show up at the house the next day, and it's like you're not dead.
Okay,
I feel you just have to
hide the body or
something.
All right.
Small details.
So you might potentially murder and be.
I don't know if we can air this podcast.
I mean, it's very far fetched anyway. In this alternate universe, are you going to go for women?
Yes.
Or are you going to go for a woman who wants children?
Yes.
Yes or either?
Either.
Okay. What is the age range of the person that you're going to go for in this universe?
How old am I when I go?
This happens like right after this podcast. I'm going to kick you through the wormhole.
Let's go 30 to 38.
30 to 38. Yo, by the way, Nasty, I got the blue blocker glasses, so hopefully next episode I'll have those instead of these old man glasses. What height range do you want?
To go 5'2" to 5'11". 5'2"
to 5'11". Minimum income.
I'll go 75.
Okay. It's only going in increments of 10,000. 70,000?
70, yeah.
Okay. Ethnicity?
White.
She's got to be white?
I guess this is where you're going
You
theoretical.
can say any.
Yeah, I'd go any.
Okay. Hair color? I was going to say that's racist.
It's not racist to have a preference.
I would say any for hair color.
Eye color?
Any.
This actually
You opened up the any box by giving me the option to begin with. I wasn't going to go down it at first. It's kind of your fault.
No. All right, because I invited a friend, Nate, on, and like I do respect anyone who comes on the show, especially anyone in a relationship. If I had my way with the world, I would only invite like single people on, because I feel like single people are able to be themselves. They don't have to like appease any spouse or partner but
isn't it nice to have another perspective?
No, like I want people to come on, obviously, but like he said for his eye color blue, which first of all I think is delusional.
But then I changed it to any. At the end of the day, I feel like any is going to be the answer. Like
it sounds like you're asking him his preference over his heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But and so he said blue. His girlfriend doesn't have blue eyes, and this was actually the grounds for a fight. So, like, I will never put past couples the trivial nature of some of the content which they fight over. It can be as trivial as the color of your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I don't think Katie would give a shit at all.
Yeah. Education.
I want to say bachelor's, but in like a different world, I don't know how much I would care, because the college is relatively like kind of useless.
What if it's more useful on Earth B?
But then I'd probably say bachelor's. I'll go high school.
High school, okay. Religion.
Definitely atheist. That's definitely a.
What if on Earth B, God is like God's presence is known and he's like ruling over it and whatever.
Whatever.
Smoker.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
I guess either.
Or
either.
Timmy, where's Lassie? She's out in the orchard, Mom. Peaches are coming in mighty early this year.
Smoke.
You know what they say, Timmy? Early peaches, long summer.
Smoke.
What's that, Lassie?
Are you smoking yet?
So are you gonna tell her smoke, or is it okay if she does? Like, is it?
It's either. It's either.
Either. Okay.
She's gotta shove a cigarette in
Drink
her mouth.
her.
Either.
Exclude married women. I think you've made it clear in Earth B. That's not necessarily. Like,
I would exclude married women.
What about Katie B?
I told you I would be killing myself. It wouldn't even be a difference.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
She would no longer be
she'd
married.
be widowed.
Yeah. She's fair game.
So exclude married women, yes. Exclude obese.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 0.012% likelihood. Fucking the Lulu.
See, I don't think I agree with that. I feel like I was pretty general. How is it?
It's the income. The income is big. There's a wage gap, guys. There's a fucking wage gap.
I also think the calculators kind of makes it sound a lot worse when you go by percentages. Like 1% of the population would be a lot of people.
But 0.012% is only 20,197 people.
I mean, I think 20,000 is still a lot of people
That's
to
not.
choose from.
When was the last time you left the state of Pennsylvania?
Like a week ago when I went to Jersey.
Okay, but all right, when was the last time that you mixed it up in another coast?
In another coast?
Yes.
Like not Florida or.
Florida's the East Coast. Yeah. When was the last time you went to the Midwest or West or the Southwest?
That's not a coast.
All right. When was the last time you went to another region of America?
I went to Rochester in the summer.
But that's
That's
all right.
like West New York.
All I'm saying is, like, if you want to start mixing up this population of 20,000 by
Okay,
each state, that's like,
I'm also not going to be mixing around with everyone in the country either. I'm going to be selecting between the people in my area.
yeah, which
So
makes this number a hell of a lot
Yeah.
smaller than 20,000.
Exactly. So what's the point?
I'm saying, like, you know, your best bet if you ever want to find somebody to settle down with is to lower your standards. I know it sucks to say, but 70,000, I don't think it's a deal breaker in my opinion.
Well, he said 70,000.
Yeah. All right, Cherney, on to you. Let's see if you can be less delusional. You don't have to go to an alternate universe. You're here on Earth.
I go to an alternate universe and I have a wife there.
Earth A. Do you want non-men or men?
Non-men.
Okay. Do these non-men want to have kids? Either yes or
Summer
no?
2013 said, lower standards usually result in divorce.
Yeah. I mean, that is my pastor, Pastor George. Hi, George. Wait, where were we?
Well, we only did the first one.
Do they want kids? Either yes or no?
Either.
Age range?
21 to 40.
21 to 40. Height range?
4'6" to 6'6".
Jeez.
That's a huge bitch.
Minimum income?
40,000.
Ethnicity?
Any.
Hair color?
Any.
Eye color?
Any.
Education?
High school.
Religion?
Any.
Smoker?
No.
No. Drinker?
Any.
Exclude married women?
Exclude.
Exclude obese women?
Exclude.
Okay. Do you want to take you have a 0.74% chance. That is,
It's better than me.
it's significantly better.
It changes every week.
Yeah,
I
because-
feel like my answers are almost the same.
I don't know. But
Like I've changed it a couple times slightly,
Yeah.
but like
that's
not that dramatic.
1,245,496 non-men. And do you want to take this time to talk?
Summer 2013 said, I think this website is rigged.
What do George? What do you think? It is rigged. It is rigged for the higher or for the lower? Because it is a promotion for this dating app called Keeper. So maybe what they're trying to do, if it is rigged, I can see why it's rigged. They're trying to make people think they're delusional because, like you said, like I said, they're trying to get people to lower their standards and use their app, and they will, settle for, someone who's beneath what they
And
think.
increase their percentages of success rate.
Yeah.
Summer 2013 said, much lower. Most people end up married even without these low stats.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think a big reason for this, right, is people like look past what they claim their standards are. People say, I don't want a woman, non-man. Sorry, I don't want a non-man who's.
I feel like you could say the word. Just
I don't want a non-man who's 6'6". Next thing they know, a 6'7" non-man walks right by them on the street, gives them a chance. They're willing to.
well, yeah,
Be
I'm
with that
pretty sure it's
person.
not a hard set standard when it's like an inch difference. It's
You
hard
know,
to say.
like I don't know. It's,
Like you're making us choose like a specific standard. We don't really know what our like where the cutoff would be
Or
for when we're thinking someone's too short. Or
maybe
too
you
tall.
have a fantastic dinner. You connect greatly with a person, and they pull out a cigarette and start smoking. Are you really gonna be like, ew, no, you're a smoker. I don't like that. We're through. Or are you gonna try and? I think a lot of people are gonna try and change their partner as they go through life.
MRG's 1117 said, Bro, just say woman or man.
No,
I agree. The non is just not working. Non-woman or not man is just not
You
working.
just don't need all the questions that are kind of gender divisive. You can talk about women though.
no, I'm not gonna speak it.
Alright.
I'm not gonna speak the word. I'm not gonna say
Speak the
anything
word.
about non-men.
I'm pretty sure it makes it significantly worse when you just say non
It really sounds gross.
Okay.
because you don't avoid any of the topics. You just replace one word with another.
All right. Should I go? I feel like I've done this a lot of times, but I'll try and
Not
get
as
through
many
it.
times as you have.
I'll get through it really fast.
Summer 2013 said, I wonder what the stats would be without almost any standards or normal
Huh.
standards.
All right. You want
Try
me?
some open-ended searches.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna literally do.
All of them.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
either age range 18
Mid to
to
max.
70, height range 4 foot to 8 foot, minimum income 0, ethnicity any, hair color any, eye color any, education any, religion any, smoker either, drinker either, exclude married women no, exclude obese non-men no.
Theoretically, it should be like 50.
78%
Huh?
of all non-men in the United States meet your standards.
Wait, what?
So-
How does that make sense?
because
78% of women.
meet that standard.
How is it not all of them?
That's a good question.
Probably because it's illegal to go
Summer
below 18, but they
2013
still exist as a
said,
population.
"Petals?"
So like 22% of the world is probably below 18.
That's what
Oh yeah, true. The 22.
I think. That maybe there's a couple.
But like,
this,
why is that even
all right,
included?
so
Like-
this height range only goes down to 4 foot. I'll bet you there's a couple little people who are below 4 foot.
Little people below 18 and then above 70.
Oh, true. This age range only goes up to 70.
Yeah.
There's got to be tons of people above age 70. So yeah, that's exactly that's where it comes from. Yeah. But if you have 0 standards, according to these, that will give you a 78% chance of
one in
meeting
every 2 women, at least.
someone. All right. I want to ask like a serious question. Is your identity your reality?
What?
Is your identity your reality?
That's, like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
So
I feel like I do what I want.
But if I identify as a millionaire, 7 foot black man, is that my reality?
No. I mean, you
What
can
is-
pretend, but
Is
like
it
it's
Is it a
not.
delusion?
Yeah, I guess. I guess you could put it like that.
So if your identity is not paired with reality, you are delusional.
I see what you're doing there.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, no, you are asking a question. I feel like it's.
Asking multiple questions.
I
Trey,
feel like
what do you?
I feel like that's impossible to identify as that. Right? It's like a completely different skin color and height. And you're never going to be a millionaire, probably either.
My plan is to be a millionaire in like the next 8 to 10 years. Like
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I think most like retirement people are millionaires.
Yeah, nowadays by the current standards, if you retired today, they say if you don't want to ever work again and maybe last like 30 years in retirement, you need $1.9 million in the bank.
I believe
Summer
that.
2013 said, everyone has 3 identities. How they see themselves, how they portray, and who they are.
Portrait is what you meant to say. And who they are. I just Cherney, what do you say? What say you?
So the question is your identity your reality?
Yes.
I guess not. It's like there's reality and there's what you believe, I guess. Like I could make this argument for like religion if I wanted to. Like is religion your reality?
No, it's a very equivalent question.
It's
Or are you delusional?
it is unknown.
Exactly.
Yeah, like to any mortal, your religion is unknown. Like there's no way of knowing whether a higher power exists or not if there was a
So
way
how
to
can you
prove or
say it's your reality if you can't prove it?
I'm not saying it's my
So
reality.
what are you getting at with this question?
I'm just asking a question.
All right.
Why do you always think I'm getting at something? I'm
Because
just asking.
you do this all the time. You make a broad question, a loaded question to get to another question that you want to like trap us in or something.
I'm not doing that.
That is, all right, go. All right.
So, but I just do we agree
Sure.
that your identity is not your reality?
I get, yeah.
All right, because
If you believe hard enough, like, your identity can be your reality, I guess.
like
It's possible.
all right, because the description of this episode is asking each other, asking the listener, asking the viewer, do you want to be spoon-fed a lie, or do you want to bite the gamey, fatty truth off the bone of the underbelly of life? Like, and are we serving people when we lie to them about what their reality is? I mean, do you think that if we could, like, I think the most like tangible example would be if somebody was in like a institution and they thought that they were I don't know, a pelican. Would a therapist
Suitor
be
2013 said, I think it's more nature versus nurture. Identity is how we see ourselves, but our reality is the world around us.
like, do you think a therapist would be serving their client to play into their mismatch of reality and identity?
Is it unhealthy for you?
You're in an institution, so you're not, in the real world. You're being committed
Well,
there.
that's their reality.
I
It's
mean,
their real world.
there is hope that they could, lead a normal life if they were to grasp reality, I suppose.
How do you make them grasp it?
Do you think it's by lying to them, or do you think it's by getting them to see their reality?
No, I think
I think telling them the truth doesn't change it either, because they still don't have to believe you.
Okay.
They also get more argumentative about it and not want to listen to you at all anymore and shut themselves even more out of the world.
Yeah, because like if you think of also like people like Alzheimer's and dementia too, you probably lie to them a lot.
Yes, but I think that those people have a deterioration of the mind that can never be reversed. Like they.
Well, not with current medical treatment.
Alzheimer's and dementia are only ever going to get worse. They're like terminal diseases of the mind.
But I feel like most personality orders that get you institutionalized aren't very well known either.
This is true, definitely true. But like maybe like I don't know about paranoid schizophrenia. I feel like there's like hope that it can be.
I have a friend who's schizophrenic.
Yeah, like I feel like paranoid schizophrenia can be reversed.
There's treatments.
Yeah,
like you have medications. You have like you can talk to people like therapists and stuff about it.
Yeah,
and that's what my one friend does.
So what about you guys? Would you rather be spoon-fed a sugary lie or bite the truth off of the bone?
Mainly the truth, yeah.
I don't want like a solid mix. No, seriously, because I feel like sometimes does the truth provide value to you? If it doesn't, then do you really need it? Like if it's a truth that's actionable, sure, but if it's a truth that you just have to live with and you can't take action off, I don't know if it's going to help me. Maybe I do want to lie.
I guess it depends, but I mainly always want to know what the truth is.
Like if you found out 8 years from now, meteors coming, we're all fucked. Do you really want to know that, or you want to just?
Yeah,
for sure.
Then I can just.
Yeah, I don't want to be like saving.
2013 said, "Isn't this the Matrix?"
This This can be the Matrix. I mean, the Matrix. If you'll note, there's like a rebellion in the Matrix. Not everybody believes the lie. There's Neo and Morpheus and Trinity, and they understand that the Matrix is a lie, and they have stepped outside of it. So, I mean, I would rather know who the Smiths are instead of just go around eating my what does he have, like a nice sirloin steak and saying that ignorance is bliss. Like,
I love a sirloin steak.
But yeah, all right. So if a meteor was coming, yeah, I want to know, because I don't want to be saving all my money, investing all my money. I'd be blowing that shit.
Okay, what if,
Okay, that's fair.
if you're told that a meteor is coming and you believe it, but then it actually doesn't, and then you lose all your money?
Am I told it because it's a lie? Either way, I want to be told the truth.
But like, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna know whether something's the truth or a lie?
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like,
Kind of need like evidence.
I feel like we're digging too deep into the question there. Like, could you do something about the comet? Because like, if you could do something about the comet, then sure.
No, I doubt we could do anything about the comet. And
Why not?
what are we gonna do? Like nuke it? Like,
It doesn't have to be nukes. But like,
I feel like this
rockets
reminds me
and
of.
stuff, like,
Have you guys seen Don't Look Up?
yes.
Yeah, and I
It's good.
totally believe that that's how America would handle this. Like, rather than nuking it and blowing it up, we would try and harvest it for its resources, and we would fail because we're good at that. And then
How did that
it would
movie-
kill us.
How did that movie end up? Did everyone died and went to heaven in it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone died. Yeah.
and went to heaven.
Yeah, I think they did.
No,
What?
a small group got to another planet. They landed, and then some indigenous animal ate them all.
yeah.
What the heck?
Who's the director? Like Sasha something?
I forget. Yeah.
He's the guy that did The Big Short. He's a really good director.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
So, I broke up our viewers into 4 tiers,
Oh God.
and this is like based on, and like kind of because I got some truth. Maybe I got their truth about my content, and some feedback, and I value negative constructive feedback more than ignorant praise, I suppose. So at the top of our
What
list,
if it's negative and not constructive?
then they're at the bottom of my ranking system. So number 1, the best people are the people who watch this and they're supportive. They give me constructive, positive feedback all the time. People like Nasty, people like Rye, people like Kelly, people like Peanut. So I call them.
What about me?
You're a host. Like
I also give constructive criticism.
okay, sure. Maybe you're. I think you might be a number 2 on this.
Okay.
Number 2 is complete detractors. There are people who watch it. They're very involved. They offer a lot of constructive feedback, not a ton of, positive praise.
So he just complains a bunch.
Oh yeah, I did.
Third tier
That's
is
fair.
absentee complicitors. Those are the people who don't watch this shit. They're just complicit. But hey, like you help in the algorithm. You don't watch this shit, but you at least are
Wait, you
a
mean-
subscriber.
Do you mean they don't watch it, or they watch it and don't say anything?
No, I don't think there are many of them. Maybe there are, but they might just turn it on, watch 4 minutes of it,
Yeah.
turn it off, and they might be like, "Yeah, good podcast," or something like that. What am I gonna do with that? Even if it is the truth. I mean, it is. They're the third tier, and the fourth tier is absentee detractors. They're people that, for whatever reason, they just have no interest. Like some of these people might not even be viewers. Some of these people may have tried to be a subscriber and unsubscribed or something like that. They can go fuck themselves. I remember I was trying to pitch the show to one lady, and I was like, "Hey, are you interested in subscribing to the Good Faith podcast?" And she's like, "LOL, I'm a Jew." I'm like,
Wait, what?
I said, okay, Judaism's a faith.
Did she watch it before or something?
No, I'm sure
why
not.
is
Like,
Judaism
she's an
a-
absentee detractor, just somebody who wants a reason to say no to the
But
to
like,
the world. You know,
like
doesn't want to be involved, doesn't want to be bothered, just wants to be absentee and detract from her
I'm just
surroundings.
confused why that was the excuse of not wanting to watch.
Because she's just a fucking absentee.
Why not just say I don't want to watch? Why?
Because
Because the hard truth.
yeah, so I want to discuss censorship right now and apologize for speculating last episode. And once again, I'm going to make a valid attempt to not mention the other gender. I'm going to call them not men or no men.
No men.
Do you guys want to see? I had all right. Here we go. This is gonna be
towards David Osborne, who was like worth $100 million at the time. I thought that was the richest any human could be. We were on a walk, and he was like, "How much money do you have right now?" And I was like, "I don't know. I have $100K in the bank right now." He's like, "No. How much money exactly do you have in the bank?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I have to look." He goes, "You have to look?" He's like, "How much money do you make a month?" And I was like, "Well, about this." He's like, "You don't know exactly." And I was like, "I also don't know that." "How much money do you spend?" I also don't know that. And he goes, "Money is a cruel mistress. If you don't pay attention to her, she will leave you for somebody else." And I remember hearing that conversation and thinking, let's take that one step further. So if all I have to do is follow my money, look at her, pay attention to her, and she'll grow. And he said, I can guarantee you if 1 year from now, if you look at your money every single day, and you look at your spendings, and you look at your savings, and you think about an ability to grow both, 1 year from now, you will be rich.
okay. So, Journey, are you a positive net worth?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean like debt to asset ratio or asset to debt ratio?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this might be a little awkward or whatever. and if you are uncomfortable with this segment, just tell me. Can we make your balance sheet?
Make my balance sheet?
Yes.
Like list out all my assets?
And all of your debts, yes. Or your liabilities. So we'll start. Do you have any student loans?
No. Like, do you need exact numbers for it?
I want ballparks.
Okay.
But you have 0 student loans.
Yeah, I
right?
paid them off.
That's impressive.
Car.
What, like a car loan?
Yep.
No, I paid that off.
Okay.
Well, I didn't like have a loan to begin with. I just paid for the car.
Consumer debt.
What would be consumer debt?
Like a credit card.
Well, I have a credit card, but I like pay it every month.
Pay the balance.
Like
So
full balance.
So as of like October 30th, it will be 0.
I think. Well, it's not on the 3rd. It's like the 15th
But
of every month.
let's just like it is never so far away from 0 that
it's
you are drowning.
It's always between like 0 and 1,000 each month. It's
Wow.
never like. Well,
But do you pay for the apartment ever, like the rent with that? Okay.
Wait. Oh, not with the credit card. No.
Okay.
I pay that with my checking.
Okay. Okay, but we'll say 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any other types of debt that mortgage?
I don't have a mortgage.
Don't have a mortgage.
Do we count rent?
No.
I guess
Because it
it's
comes
not,
out of your bank. It is not a liability.
Every month.
You could theoretically just become a vagabond and buy a van and it would not cost you anything, right?
Well, that's not the same. This is kind of closer to a mortgage. It's just a cheaper version.
Yes, but you have no mortgage.
No.
Okay. Are there any other types of liabilities that you can think of?
I mean, just owing people money, but I don't have that.
Wait, owing people money?
But yeah, I don't know if like a friend gave you a couple hundred or something, but I don't have that. No.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm just
okay.
trying to think.
I'd call that like a personal loan.
Yeah,
I
like
suppose.
a personal loan.
Okay. Now, do you have a Roth?
Yes.
Can you tell me a ballpark of how much is in it?
It's between 21 to 22,000.
All right, we'll be generous. Give you 22,000. Do you have a SoFi account, right?
Yes.
What is your SoFi worth?
About 41,000.
41,000. You have a car paid off, correct?
Yeah.
What is your car worth if you had to take a guess? And it will depreciate as time goes. So
It's not in the best condition, so it's probably like 1,000 or 2,000. I don't know.
2,000.
Yeah, like I only paid like a few thousand for it, so it's probably like 1,000 or so.
All right, we'll call it 2,000. You have what do you have in all of your bank accounts, CDs and everything included?
I have about. Actually, I could probably just pull that up real quick. I think I have like 700 in my credit union. Sorry, I should be paying attention to my money more.
Yeah, facts.
It is a fair statement to make.
I mean, I look at it pretty much every day, but
There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Respect your money, or your money's gonna go cheat on you with some other fucking rich motherfucker.
I have 2,700 in my Bank of America account, which is my checking and my savings total.
Okay, is that? Do you have some other bank?
Well, the credit union, American Heritage, I have like 700 in.
700. So we'll call this what 30.
It's like 3,400 total.
All right. Do you have a calculator available?
Well, yeah.
Are there any other
My
valuable assets
401k
that?
is like a lot bigger. Than
Oh yes, of course. I always forget about my 401k because I just don't pay attention to it. It's gonna fucking leave me. It's a coincidence. What if you had to ballpark your 401k? What would you call it?
66,000.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of that came from Wawa stock. So.
Is there anything else we're missing?
Oh yeah, my CD. I forgot about that. 10,000, like 10,400.
All right. Uh, 10,400 in the CD. Anything else that we're forgetting about?
I think that's pretty much it.
Nasty says that the portfolio humble brags need to stop. It drags the show. I'm just. I want people to.
I was asked about it. I mean, like.
All right. Do you have a calculator on you?
Yeah, I just use the computer.
All right. Can you do 22,000 plus 41,000 plus 2,000?
Hold on. Okay.
Plus 3,400.
Okay.
Plus 66,000. Plus 10,400.
Okay.
What's your net worth?
144,800.
140. We'll call it 145,000.
You love to round up. You're humble bragging for me.
Yes. Peanut, are you comfortable doing something like this?
I'll give you most of it, maybe not all of it.
Okay. Do you have any student loans, or does I guess because you're?
I was gonna say, do I?
Katie.
Yeah.
If you are does your marriage have student loans?
Yes, Katie has student loans.
What is the?
You both have.
Yes, we both have. But so that's where I'm not gonna talk about her stuff because I don't want to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's where I have to draw the line.
Do you guys own both your vehicles?
No. I just bought a new car. I sold my old one, which I did pay off, but then it was old, so I bought a new one.
Are you making you're making payments on this vehicle?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Do you?
Yeah.
Are
So
you comfortable talking about that?
that payment's $380 a month.
For how many months?
For 5 years. So what's that? 68.
I was gonna guess 62.
Wait,
60.
60, yeah.
Wait, and what did you say? 380?
Yep.
Attorney, can you calculate 380 times 60?
22,800.
22,800. Consumer debt, Peanut?
Probably like 2,000.
Okay. 2,000 and mortgage. Are you comfortable explaining that?
Yeah. I mean, my mortgage, I pay like 3,500 a month. No, 32. Katie did a good job.
3,200 a month.
Yeah, 3,200 a month.
30 years.
Yeah.
Trini, can you calculate that?
3,200.
Yeah.
Times What's
30,
30 times
years.
12?
Oh yeah, it's
And-
30 times 12.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able?
115. Wait,
No way.
no, it's 1.152 million.
I don't think that's accurate either.
You said it's a 30-year mortgage, and you're paying $3,200 a month.
Yeah, no, that mortgage could be. I don't know.
That'd be 1,152,000.
I don't.
That is kind of how much houses are worth.
Yeah.
But I think like probably after some
Like,
time,
after
the
in-
payments go down or something. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I'm definitely
I
not
understand.
gonna. That's
You're
definitely
not
not how much I'm
$3,200
paying.
every month for the next
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, Katie manages almost all of our finances, so I know nothing
Okay.
other than we're in a pretty good spot.
Are you?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Do you know how much you paid on your car?
$380. I bought it a month ago.
Okay. Do you know
But
what
then
the
I-
Kelly Blue Book is?
I put down like $15K on it, so
Oh, okay. So we'll
Wait,
at
so
least
so then you're
we'll at
only
least
down, like,
subtract
7,000.
no,
Okay.
it's there's still like 22 remaining.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So you paid 37,800 for it.
Well, that's
3,800,
how
yeah.
much he will end up paying.
But there, yeah,
Yeah.
3,800 was the total price.
Okay.
No.
Huh?
38,000.
38,000.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. And all right. Do you have a Roth?
Yes.
Do you have a ballpark of how much is in it?
No.
We'll put a question mark.
Question
Yo,
mark.
money's a cruel mission. She's gonna fucking leave you, bro. She's gonna be fucking Devin.
I mean, my wife probably knows all of this, maybe to the cent.
This is why I obviously invited her and wanted her. to
Yeah,
come.
she would know all of this.
Do you have a ballpark of the SoFi that I set you up with?
No. Nope.
$100.
Probably $75.
I invested, I think, 150 when I first got it, but I don't know where that's at.
We'll just say 150. 'Cause
It was in some biotech stocks, which either I made a bunch of money or it's all gone. My guess is it's all gone.
All right. So, does Katie own a car?
Yeah, she probably has like 2 years left on her car.
Okay, so we'll question mark
You
that.
guys should come to American Heritage with your ones.
Do you have a ballpark of your bank account balance? If you're uncomfortable, you can.
Yeah, I'll skip that one.
Okay. Don't want anybody to rob you after this show. And and then we got your 401k. Any idea?
No, I did take a loan against my 401k though.
Oh.
Not the current one of my old 401ks, which I still think was a great thing to do because I pay the money back against myself.
And any
I don't-
CDs?
So like a HELOC kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't lose any money. I'm just paying myself back over the
I
next
thought it
4
was,
years.
Because usually you can't take out it without penalty of like taxes.
Right. So this
This one you can.
it was an IRA that I think I moved over to a different account and then took the loan from there. I don't know. My finance guy did it in like a weird way. Yeah. I think yes. That word sounds familiar.
Okay, so and any certificates of deposit?
No, but I have money in like I deposited a bunch of money in the stock market in like different portfolios.
Okay.
Not on SoFi.
No.
Are you paying commission on those trades?
I have no idea. My finance guy manages it.
All right. And I'm literally not trying to shame you.
No, yeah, no, I know.
Does this
But it is kind of eye opening. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, is this like that's what I'm really hoping.
Yeah.
Is this conversation making you
The thing
want
is,
to?
after this, Peanut's just gonna forget about it.
No,
Not do it.
I've actually starting like last month. I started actually kind of looking over how much I spend because like I should be able. I make fair money, so I should be able to save a decent amount. But instead, I just get drunk and buy dumb shit. So I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah,
Or just invest it.
I'm really hoping.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that in maybe I don't know a year's time, you're able to come to me and be like, "Yeah, I have this much, this much, this much, this much, this much, this much," and you're like in full control of your finances, And
I mean, from the time like that I let Katie start managing my finances until like now, like she has saved me like I saved like less than $10,000 before, and she's saved me a lot of money, like a lot,
That's great.
which means I could probably do better.
Yeah, because imagine it. All right, so
You did better by marrying Kate.
I think all right. So I came up with this analogy. Like a marriage is like two people in a rowboat, right? And if they're both rowing at the exact same speed, the rowboat's going to go fast, right? If one person's rowing really hard and the other person's not rowing really hard, what's going to happen to the rowboat?
It turns.
Yeah, it
It's gonna
turns.
turn, right? It's
Yeah.
not going to go in the direction you want it to go. And God forbid, if one person's rowing in the right direction and the other person's rowing in the wrong direction, what's going to happen to the rowboat?
I don't think you go anywhere.
It's just going to like spin in circles,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So all of our viewers, all of our listeners, I want you all to be rowing in the same direction because I think that is what's best. All right, moving on. Cherney, are you a feminist?
Yeah.
Peanut, are you a feminist?
Yes.
Does male privilege exist?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Can you give me an example of it?
Yeah, promotions at work. Like I see, like
do not go to not men.
no promotions go to women, but like it's pretty common to see. I've seen it plenty of times in my career where like you have a man who's like an idiot, but he's super confident idiot, so he gets the promotion instead the person knows what they're doing.
Is
It's
that
actually
not
pretty
you?
frequent.
Wait,
I'm
you
not-
don't think Peter's good?
No, I think it's fair. Like
I feel like Peanut would describe himself that way
Probably.
sometimes.
I would, but like it's like different when like these like you see so many guys. I'd like literally. It happens at work and in previous jobs too. Where it's like, how the fuck did you get here? Like, you actually ask yourself that question, and most of the time, that person's a white guy, a little older.
Okay. I wasn't even bringing race into this, but okay. Cherney, do you think male privilege exists?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Childbirth.
Okay.
That's an interesting one.
That's very fair. We do not have to give birth to children, and that is, a privilege for sure. Do we need men?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That was quick.
What if we like harvested all the semen from all the men on Earth and stored it in a refrigerator? So there's enough semen to impregnate not men for the next 1,000 years, and then would we still need men?
Then what do you do with all the babies that are boys?
They're boys, not men.
This
But...
would be, well, eventually they
I was just curious where you're going with that,
Are
but no,
Be China, like
I think a healthy balance is probably the best answer.
Okay. What do we need men for? Like they're fucking assholes, pigs.
I mean, it's just about like, I guess if you're trying to say that men and women aren't different, like we are, I think there's nothing wrong with that. You need a balance.
Yeah. Well, I agree, but like, there would definitely be some misandrous out there who would have you believe that we don't need men.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's also a bunch of men out there who probably don't think you need women too. It's just extremes on both sides of the fence.
I suppose it's definitely like delusion for sure to think that you don't need either.
Yes.
Are men the dispensable sex though?
I don't think either are dispensable.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is the question.
Well, because throughout history we have caused change by throwing men at a problem. If the Persians were trying to take over Troy, they just threw throngs of men on the battlefield to die. If the blacks needed to be freed in the Civil War, they just threw thousands of men at the problem to die for it.
It's not saying like they're dispensable. It's using them to fight.
You're dispensing them to fight, aren't you?
But you're using their like what they are better at doing to win a war or whatever you're trying to say. Like it's not like they're just saying they're dispensable. They're like using them.
I also think that men probably just sign up volunteer for that more often too. Like women definitely fight. There's plenty of women in the American army. The Vikings used to be like half women. Like there's definitely plenty of instances where women were also fighters.
Do you think that like prior to guerrilla warfare, where it was just like one guy in the very front with a drum and like a bunch of guys just like marching to their death, like do you think that those guys were volunteering, or do you think that like a monarch, a king at the very top
it's
was
a
like,
combination, because there's definitely pride in fighting for your country, which a lot of them did.
Sure, but like I'm sure most of them were boys, not even men,
But
just being thrown into a battlefield.
I also think this is where religion comes into play, because I'm sure most of them were doing it for a god, which then everyone's willing to die for a god. If you believe in a god, you're willing to die for a god.
Sure. I think that it's more about like a pride for country than a pride for God, because I mean there was
no back then, maybe now, but not back in the day.
Well, I'm even talking about like in the Civil War, it wasn't about God. In the Revolutionary War, not that there was a ton of casualties in the Revolutionary War. I know in World War it was not about God.
I mean, I don't know how you can say World War II wasn't about. It was all started because Hitler hated a certain religion.
But I don't think that Hitler was doing it because he thought that like Christianity was the right religion. Like he thought that Jews were a inferior race.
Yeah.
He was a eugenicist, not a crusader.
I mean, no matter how you put it, he very specifically targeted a religion. So I don't say, hey, you can't say religion isn't the primary factor.
Yeah, but he also did like there were also gypsies and blacks in the Holocaust.
It's a combination. It's not like it's just one or the other, but religion definitely.
But yeah,
is a part of it too.
It did have a part in it. I just do not think that it was I think it was more about making a scapegoat for German, national pride, and he needed somebody to blame all of the problems on, and he saw Jews as an easy scapegoat.
Well, then what about the Aryan race?
Exactly. Like I think racial motivations played a bigger role in the Holocaust than religious.
Well, wasn't that also based on his religion? Like those were the best people because of his religion too.
Yeah, I think religion factors in race there, but it's definitely. I don't think there's any way to dance around the fact that he just like almost specifically took out the entire Jewish religion.
Obviously horrible. My thing is that the world escaped Nazi rule by throwing men into Normandy to die on a beach.
Not to die, to fight.
Okay, but a lot of them died.
Yeah, a lot of them died. A lot of them also killed other people. They killed Nazis.
Were women even? Were women allowed to enlist?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't think they were. I'm pretty sure they weren't allowed. So you can't even.
Were they even allowed to vote yet?
No.
It was in the 30s. It was World War II was in 1930.
39 is when it started, when they invaded Poland.
Yeah. So
we didn't really get involved until 42, though, I think, or 40.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
I'm not as big of a history buff as I probably should be, but I can speculate that the solution to escaping Nazi rule was to have the men of all over the world oppose Axis forces in France. Are men struggling at this point in human history?
I don't think so.
In what way? It's just a broad question.
Well, 1/3 of men are being phased out of the mating market. They won't have offspring.
But are they douchebags? Because if they're douchebags, then it makes sense. I feel like there's a bunch of men who were just kind of useless, but only made it so far in life because they were men.
So is it okay to dispense those men?
I don't think so. But life kind of just happens sometimes.
They become dispensable, right?
2013 said, lack of fatherhood are causing issues.
For sure. But regardless of the reasons, I'm not sure why they're being phased out of the mating market. I just know that they are. I don't know why they're not going to have offspring. I just know that they won't. And like,
So
I mean-
is this statistic like something that's growing, or is it something
Yes.
that's always been this way?
since the advent of Tinder, it's exponentially growing actually. And I think the reason that 1/3 of men are being phased out of the mating market is because they're short, they're poor, they're, like quote unquote low status men,
And that
men
didn't
who
matter
cannot
before?
garner resources. It mattered before, but now we live in a global dating market.
Yeah, it's easier to pick and choose.
Yes, like these non-men are able to go to Mykonos or go to Dubai or go to Los Angeles or San Diego, wherever they want, in pursuit of a high status man. They don't have to settle for that bottom.
Are those the men that aren't dating though? Because I feel like a lot of those men are the ones that I see married, and it's like the ones that are just douchebags with money that aren't married. Like whenever when I think of poor, I feel like a lot of poor people in the country probably are married actually.
Well, I mean, this regardless of what their situation is, 33% of the men have not had sex in the last calendar year.
Okay.
So maybe they're married, maybe they have a deadbed, maybe they're virgins.
Wait, so what is the stat then? The 33%?
33% of men from ages 18 and up have not had sex in the last year.
Oh, okay. So it's about sex, not about being single.
I mean, you could presumably assume that they are mostly single, but I'm sure there are a couple.
I'm
grown
sure,
married
yeah.
men who are not able to procure sex from their.
I'm sure it's more than just a couple, but like I'm just thinking about like when
Poor sons of bitches.
when I'm trolling people on Facebook about dumb shit, and like I see one of those commenters, like you can just tell that like you probably haven't dated a woman in years because you're borderline insufferable. But like I don't really feel bad for them because it feels very self-inflicted.
Okay. Well, what do you feel bad for the guys who cannot garner resources?
Yeah, because that's like sometimes you just get a shitty hand in life, and then that kind of sucks. But like, I don't know how much of that 33% is really them. I'm sure there's some of it, but I feel like it's probably not as high as people would think.
Do you think most non-men would rather an insufferable man or a dead broke man?
Dead broke man.
You think they would rather that?
I think in this day and age, yeah.
I mean, I think with the ability to pick and choose, they would not choose either.
Yeah, that's
And
probably.
and they probably are.
Yeah.
That 1/3 of men is probably a little bit of both, for whatever.
Or one or the other.
Men are unaliving themselves more. Men are experiencing homelessness more. Men are more likely to die on the job. Men are pursuing secondary education less, graduating with fewer degrees. 40-year-old men who are divorced are 8 times more likely to delete themselves. 1/3 of paternity tests taken yield a result of paternity fraud. Are men struggling? I'll ask again.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like not a like men's mental health isn't really looked at that well. So like that makes sense. I believe that. But again, like sometimes if you're just an asshole your entire life and you realize it one day, like it sounds rough, but like at the same time, what can you do about that?
All right. So Turney, what do you say? Are men struggling?
I think it's an individual thing. Everyone is struggling through their own issues.
Yeah, everybody has their own cross to bear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I don't want this show to be like super dreary and we're always talking about like impending doom and existential dread and shit. So let's talk about Disney movies. Yeah, yippee.
Disney.
I literally don't watch Disney.
Oh.
I watch like 2 Disney franchises.
I
You gotta
guess
help me
technically
stop.
Marvel count. Marvel is
Okay.
under the Disney umbrella. Who's the most insufferable Disney protagonist?
Protagonist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the right
Ariel.
person for this.
Ariel is probably.
Why?
She's-
And why? I want to know why.
She's such a brat. She just wants to she's like her father is just trying to like help her out mainly, and she just wants to go on land and experience worse conditions than what she has in the ocean as like the daughter of King Triton.
Yo, like, all right, this might be a cold take or whatever, but Prince Eric was probably like, Ursula, you gave Ariel a vagina and took away her voice. Thank you. Thank you. Peanut, do you have an answer for the most insufferable Disney protagonist?
I think you'd have to name them. Like I've watched Marvel. I can't think of like insufferable but they go out of their way to not make them.
Oh, Simba.
Simba's a little fucking twerp.
He's also a brat.
And then I've watched National Treasure and Pirates of the Caribbean, which I feel like
yeah, that counts.
Wait, National Treasure.
What about there's Pixar, there's
like if you name some
Ratatouille,
they're great.
Soul, there's
actually I haven't seen
Soul.
Elemental.
There's Frozen. Did I say Frozen? There's Coco.
I think I've seen like maybe 2 of those movies one single time.
Moana.
Yeah, isn't The Rock in that?
What?
I think The Rock's in that.
Yeah. That's Maui.
Yeah.
And then you have all the Marvel movies, which I think there are some insufferable ones in the Marvel movies. Definitely.
You got Mulan. You got Pocahontas.
Pocahontas, Snow White, Cinderella,
Beauty and the Beast.
Toy Story.
Cars.
Yeah,
Actually,
like
I don't. Kind of annoying too.
I don't know any of the movies well enough, other than Marvel, and I can't really think of anything that really jumps out there. Like,
do you think Tony Stark is insufferable at all?
No, I love Tony Stark.
I just think he's very self-grandiose.
Probably.
He is.
I don't think he's like.
He's also like the one person who backs it up too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you have one?
Do I have one? I initially just on a quick response said Andy from Toy Story.
He's like barely. I don't think he's the protagonist. He's like a side character.
But he's like a fucking dick, and he's like
in the more what Toy Story 4. He's not. He's a college student. He's like kind of chill.
Does he still care about his toys? Well, he didn't care about his toys in Toy Story 1, but does he?
In Toy Story 4, he gives them away to a little girl.
Fucking dick.
What? That's like he's not gonna be like using them in college. He's gonna be using some other toys.
I think I'm gonna say Andy, because even when those toys were his, he didn't give a shit about them. As soon as the next new shiny toy came out, he cared about that.
Didn't you say main protagonist? Like
no, just Disney protagonist.
Okay, I guess.
Who's the most redeemable Disney villain?
Thanos.
Why?
Because he's kind of justified in a utilitarian aspect, right? I haven't really seen the movie actually, but I've
what? You gotta support your stock.
2013.
I don't really watch a lot of
Loki.
I like
George
Loki.
says Loki. I do like Loki.
Does Elsa count as a villain?
No, Elsa counts as a protagonist.
She was kind of like freezing the country over at the time. Anna was more the protagonist until like the end, really.
I'm sorry, I'm just Peanut's locked in the bathroom. Sending this link.
I like how you said you wanted to bring it up, and then you're like, "Who's the worst Disney character?" Like,
well, we can talk shit on them. They're not real.
I know it was just funny because it sounded like you wanted to bring up the movie.
Peanut, who is the most redeemable Disney villain?
Loki.
That's what George said too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, if based on me exclusively watching the shows and not the comics, he has a very redeemable story arc. He actually comes through in the end and saves everyone instead of just being a selfish piece of shit.
I would have to think about this. Does the Winter Soldier count?
I would say that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, it's Disney, right?
Well, no. Does he count as a villain?
No, I think he's more of a protagonist.
More of a protagonist,
and he's actually kind of insufferable.
Why?
He just annoys me.
Okay. Who else is there?
All the Star Wars you could.
No, they just became Disney recently, and then they all became insufferable when Disney bought that franchise. I'm trying to think of Marvel, or
I mean, Darth Vader, if you want to count him.
nah, he was dead by the time it became a Disney franchise.
Yeah. Well, unless you're going to a prequel.
No, I'm not. I don't want to associate Star Wars with Disney. I just don't.
But you associate Marvel.
Yeah, because at least Marvel has been owned by Disney for the past like 20 years.
20? Has it been 20?
Yeah, when Iron Man was the first Disney Marvel movie.
Really?
Yeah, and that came out a long time ago, right? Like about 20 years ago.
They bought him in 2009, so 15.
15 years ago? Okay, yeah.
Still, I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But one thing to note is how catastrophic Marvel's cinematic ownership has been. Like, are you familiar with all of that about how they sold a lot of their titles to Sony like 20 years ago? And they're still in the process of like buying a lot of them back. It's why Wolverine. Didn't Wolverine just appear in his first
MCU
Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Spider-Man just recently became a Disney Marvel movie, but for a long time it was Sony. Is Fantastic Four?
They're releasing that, I think, the end of next year, like maybe even
Disney
beginning of next
Fantastic
year.
Four?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And and I guess before that, I think that might complete it then once they do that, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much done
They
now.
also had the Human Torch
In Deadpool, yeah, like they're reintroducing them all now because they finally
Yeah.
bought the rights back.
Yeah, well, and Deadpool was also owned by Sony for a
Sooner
long time.
2013 said, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, but Fox owned the rights to X-Men Universe.
Yes. Yeah. But now I believe all of it is officially under Disney's control. It only took them 20 years, but now they have it all.
The time to buy the stock.
What pill do you guys take? Are you familiar with like red pill, blue pill?
Sure.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean the Matrix.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Are you talking about the Matrix, or are you talking about like Democrat and Republican?
No, it's not about Democrat and Republican. So I can give you I apologize if this is like a little long-winded, but
Okay.
the red pill, the incel red pill, which did you guys know that incel, the term, is categorized as a terrorist organization by the Department of Homeland Security?
Wait, really?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Is that because that's where most of like the school shooters come from?
Yes.
Oh my god.
That checks out.
So if you're involuntarily able to procure sex, you're a terrorist. Sorry, guys.
Well, I think it's a little more in depth than that. But
Yeah.
The incel red pill can be explained by the 80-20 rule, which says that 80% of non-men desire just 20% of men. This means that the vast majority of men will never be desirable and consequently will never find sexual fulfillment and happiness. Among incels, the red pill represents the realization that feminism has caused a massive shift in power, and that feminism, understood by incels as non-men having the right to sleep with anyone they wish, gives non-men far too much power and has led to hypergamy. Incels speak for women pairing up with men who are more attractive. In most cases, the red pill is only a stepping stone. The far right and the manosphere consider the red pill a call to action. The blue pill is the counterpart of the red pill. The blue pill means remaining blissfully ignorant about how the world works. To those who have been red pilled, everyone else is blue pilled. Purple pilled, as you can imagine, is a mixture of the two. Purple pill is the incel version of centrism. It rejects both red pill and blue pill philosophies as misguided at best and idiotic or repulsive at worst. Purple pillars attempt to explain male female behaviors in a more moderate and, relatively speaking, sensible way. The green pill is shorthand for environmentalism. Within the extreme right, it can refer to eco-fascism, an ideology that mixes totalitarian fascism with radical environmentalism. Those who subscribe to an eco-fascist worldview, while not directly linked to any known acts of violence, are increasingly calling for violence against those whom they believe pose a threat to the environment. The pink pill is the female version of the incel black pill. While many incels argue that non-men by definition cannot be incels, since there will always be incels willing to sleep with non-men, femcels, female incels, do make up a small subset of incel culture. Ironically, the original incel was a non-man, a Canadian student who was outspoken about her lack of sexual activity. The pink pill is femcels, realization that no matter how fully they embody the perceived ideals of femininity, being thin, submissive, and fully made up, they will never be attractive to men. Black pill, for those on the extreme right, the black pill represents nihilism, or a realization that the system is too far gone to change. The powers that govern our lives are too deeply entrenched and too powerful to do anything about it. In the incel movement, the black pill is far more pernicious. The term was popularized on the men's rights blog Omega Virgin Revolt, where it was first used by commenter Paragon in 2011. Like the extreme right, I have no idea who that is.
I've definitely heard of that before.
Like the extreme right counterparts, incels believe that taking the black pill means realizing that their situation is hopeless. Where red pill incels are not happy about their place in society, they believe there are always out of inceldom, including working out, plastic surgery, and a host of dubious self-improvement strategies. Black-pilled incels believe that their situation is permanent and inescapable. In a black-pilled world, the sexual marketplace is governed exclusively by genetics. A man is either attractive to the opposite sex or he is not, and no amount of self-improvement can change this. Which brings me to what I identify as, and it is the opposite of a black pill. I'm a white pillar, referring to an optimistic worldview in the face of adversity. Like the red pill and the black pill, the white pill is not limited to a single subculture and is used by extremists of all stripes. Being white-pilled is believing in whatever movement you belong to and feeling good about your role within it. So, I'll ask again, what pill are you guys?
It's hard to remember what all those pills were.
I feel like white
and white were the ones that sounded more like me.
Yeah, like white doesn't sound too extreme. I can kind of get down with the green ones because like
I get
that
down with the green.
feels slightly reasonable.
I think that's a little much.
I agree, it is a little much. That's why I said like I could, like I'm not probably not my first choice, but like if you're not as extreme, then I probably am there. But it feels like the way you described them, the white was like the least of the extreme.
Yeah.
So everyone's gonna
happy tone.
so everyone's gonna navigate towards that.
It was funny originally when I was doing this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make up my own. I'm gonna make the white pill. I'm gonna be like creative. And I got to the bottom, and they're like, the white pill. I was like, fuck. Like, all right, but like it actually identified. It actually like it was what I was going to like say, which is the funny part. So
yeah, because you're not original.
What archetype are you? Are you an alpha, beta, gamma, delta, Z? Or did I skip? You guys both said purple or white, right?
I said purple. I think he said white, and he could get down with the green.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you guys alpha, beta, gamma, delta, zeta, sigma, omega? What do you identify as?
You should bring up the Myers-Briggs test. That would be interesting.
I've done that at work a few times.
Yeah, I could ask people to do it. I wouldn't want to like.
Well, it takes a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if people already know it or something.
You got to do it ahead of time and then talk
what
about it.
What archetype are you? What archetype do you identify
I don't
as?
remember what those are.
So which one do you identify when I say them?
Okay.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, zeta, sigma, omega.
The only ones I know of are alpha and beta.
No, because I want to know what you identify as.
But we don't know what they mean.
I don't know what they are.
Okay.
I'm not an alpha. I know it's bad.
Peanut, what do you? If you had to take a wild guess.
I mean, I would probably consider myself alpha just because I don't listen to anyone.
What about your wife?
I sometimes listen to her, but even she knows, like, the more you tell me to do something, the more I'm not going to do it.
Do you think an alpha knows his finances?
It's also alphas are more about like leadership and
Yeah.
it's not about like just being Like that's because you're talking about like a lone wolf more, so like you're doing your own thing, not leading.
I feel like alpha is just being confident in yourself and doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's more the lone wolf thing instead of the leadership thing. I think lone wolf's like Omega, right, or something, or not Omega.
No, I disagree because like
Sigma, I think.
Sigma.
when I think about like how I lead my team at work, like you have
I would
to
say
like.
you probably are in your workplace. I don't know if you are in your personal life.
That's fair. And that is two. Those are two very
Yeah.
different things. Yeah, and considering I only know what 2 out of the 8 definitions are, I'm kind of limited here.
And what are those? Alpha and beta?
Yeah.
Then which are you between alpha and beta?
I would say alpha between alpha and beta because I'm pretty sure betas are the ones who just listen to everything and don't make their own decisions.
Okay. What's the golden time frame to withhold sex from a new partner? What is too long? What is too short? Should there be a time frame to withhold your money?
I think you're
Why does
overthinking
there
it.
have to be a time frame to withhold sex?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think you're
But
overthinking
like
it.
framing it to where there has to be.
Well, are you framing it that there does not have to be?
I don't think so.
I think that's kind of up to. Are we talking about in a relationship, or are we talking about dating, or?
Well, do you need to have an emotional frame to withhold sex from a partner?
Yes.
How long do you think that takes to develop?
I mean, there's not really a time frame. It's just either happens right away. It can happen later on. Like it's not.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but
Yeah, it also depends on like where you're at in life too.
yeah.
There's times when you do. There's times when you don't.
Would you date a virgin if I pushed you into a wormhole, you ended up on Earth 2? Would you
I thought it was Earth B.
on Earth B? Would you date a virgin, or
Like
does
your-
it sound like a fucking headache?
Why is it a headache?
I'm asking him. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if someone is a virgin at this point in life, like they're probably a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puff somewhere, like who knows where. So I mean, it depends. I think like if you really like them, you give it a chance, but like there's probably a reason, and so like
What's
it
the reason?
depends. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not definitive. There's someone that I used to work with who, and I'm not gonna say their name just to be respectful, but
Well, yeah.
it's weird. Like it happens at least once or twice a year where I just think about. I'm like, I wonder if that person ever had sex. And I think Bullock knows who I'm talking about. And like, do you think it happened? Because I'm not sure if it did.
All right. Do you think that person is insufferable, or what were the words that you used to describe incels in a way?
I could see this person being an incel. Yes,
Like, do you?
they wanted the perfect person to fit into,
Yeah.
Okay.
and like they were never
So
gonna
they're on the
find
Delulu
anything.
calculator.
Yeah,
But having said that, and I agree that person.
but
has
were
to
they a
have-
bad person? No, I don't think they were a bad person.
Do you think that they deserve to be phased out of the human species?
No,
Like they likely
but
will be?
do you think that they're doing it to themselves?
Yes.
We're not phasing.
But I'm not-
Yeah.
The society's
So, like-
not phasing.
But-
them out.
but-
Do
Alright,
I think they
but-
deserve it? No, but
but
can
that-
is it all in their power? Yes.
Yes, like that person, in all likelihood, I don't want to open up my crystal ball here and say, but in all likelihood, that person will not reproduce. That person's bloodline will die with him.
Yeah, I mean, I would,
Is that
I would say,
unfortunate?
yeah, that is.
Yeah, like it's like.
But it's in their control.
Yes,
So you can only have so much sympathy for something that's in their control.
you can have zero sympathy for something that's in someone's control, right?
Yeah.
We already asked can growth occur in contentment? This was actually a question that was brought up in response to the episode that you were on. I want. Do you guys want to talk about that or no?
Sure.
Can growth
Ryan
occur?
McMillan said,
Now he's
King."
here.
Bryce says hi.
What up, Rye? You're only an hour and 45 minutes
He was
late.
waiting for this question.
Can growth occur in contentment?
Probably not.
Journey.
I'm still unsure on it. I feel like it's kind of probably not.
Probably not. I say definitely not. But what do I know? Do you guys? This is your
Ryan
guys.
McMillan said yes.
Yes. How, Rye? I think Rye's just trolling because
Well,
no,
he is a troll.
While Rye comes up with his example of how growth can occur in contentment.
Does he have an example?
I don't know. Maybe he's just trolling. What do you guys want to say to the world? Is there like a hill that you're willing to die on?
Yeah, gambling.
Oh yeah, this is a perfect opportunity. Peanut, how did your bet do?
I lost. I did not win.
What?
Yeah.
What, Texas Tech or?
Yeah, and actually, it looks like North Illinois blew a 1-point lead with 20 seconds left, so it was going to lose anyway. But that's they lost to someone trash that they shouldn't have
How
lost
did
to.
Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame and just lose to everyone else?
Yeah. But I mean, that's you win some and you lose some. Like I cashed out like $800 last week. I can't really complain. I'm saying other than that, like that was one bet, but then I hit a bunch of other bets.
Frankenmuth.
See, this wasn't a Frankenmuth, which is why I didn't win it.
Right.
I do have a Frankenmuth cooking for tomorrow.
Right. You should create a couple of bot accounts and name them like really silly names, right?
Those would be alt accounts, not bots. Bots would be like just a computer account, like that, not an actual person.
Yeah, right. You should create some alt
Ryan
accounts.
McMillan said peen. Squad ride.
Are you guys gonna squad ride?
Yeah, I'll send you some pics, Rye.
Do you guys have any other hills? Like, is there a hill you're willing to die on?
Like what? I don't know.
Was General Custer a good dude in his last stand?
That's so random.
Well, I feel like that's what they're talking about when you're talking about dying on a hill. Didn't he die on a hill?
Yeah. What was it? Black Bear Hill or something?
I thought it was something rock.
Or
Slippery Rock or something.
Slippery Rock.
I have no idea.
I don't know what hill would you die on.
It's a good question. I don't know.
Die on a live hill.
I put that in there because I don't want to just. I mean, I know I'm the host, but I want to offer other people an opportunity to influence the conversation instead of me just going through. I could.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has some crazy shit that they believe. I feel like that's the hill that you would die on.
Yeah.
He died at Little Bighorn. That was it in Montana.
I was gonna say Arkansas.
I remembered it being north, like in the middle of nowhere area, but I couldn't remember where.
Shane says, when are me and Sue's guests? Shane is Sue's a subscriber. Chat in right now and tell me if Sue's is a subscriber. But seriously, you guys are welcome anytime.
That would be an interesting one.
So let's talk about the scam of America. I call it the American continental slave trade. You go to college, you fund the biggest source of GDP growth that we produce, debt. You get engaged, married, spend conservatively. I've adjusted this: $3,000 on a ring, $40,000 on a wedding, $500,000 on a house.
Ryan McMillan said, "Just talk to the travel guide."
About what?
Who's the travel guide?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You become enslaved for a bare minimum of 30 years, tethered to your 9-to-5 as the only lifeline that gives you a prayer at paying off your lifetime of debt. Retire and die a few years after you're free because you didn't prioritize your mental and physical health. Does that sound about accurate?
Wait, what's the scam?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
The scam is that
I believe he's referring to life.
I thought it sounds like I thought college was the starting point.
Yes. Yeah.
But you're bringing in all these other aspects that aren't college. But
getting married, getting engaged, getting a house.
So all of it's a scam, or is it college?
Well, All right, we can start off. Is university a scam? Is college a scam?
Yes.
Journey.
I think it's for certain people. I don't think it's necessarily a scam, but I don't think it's the best option for most people.
Yeah, exactly. Which with that, like they advertise it as for everyone, which
I
makes
guess
it a
you could call
scam.
it a scam because of how
Just
it's
people
advertised
can
to everyone,
benefit from scams. Just
especially for minors.
Yeah.
They're like advertising to minors.
Like there's a very select group of people who really need to go to college.
Yes. Like if you're an aeronautic physicist. Like
Yeah, engineers, anyone in healthcare, doctors,
For sure.
And it's
certain aspects of business. But I feel like there's definitely a lot of business roles that can, but I feel like there's some business roles that you don't need college for.
and a lot of things to make a good amount of money is just better go to a trade school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of want to release Clark because I feel bad having him down there this whole time.
Well, I mean, I gotta run. I can't stay too late anyway because I got a whole drive in front of me. So.
All right.
Ryan McMillan said, Bullet, are you good?
I'm gravy, baby. All right. Peanut, do you think you could stay for another, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, I'll try and get through this as best we can. Do we think that, so we largely think that, I mean, I think it would be unfair to say that getting engaged and married is a scam, right?
The act of it isn't a scam, but like there's no need to spend that much on like a wedding. Like
Yeah. Especially when a study,
like I spent a bunch of money on a wedding and I don't think it's a scam because like it's just what it is. But it doesn't have to be like that.
yeah. But especially when a study came out and found an inverse correlation between the cost of a wedding and the duration of a marriage.
I totally believe that.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
And I mean, obviously, we're not going to say that a house is a scam. You need shelter, but
it's just price gouging. It's not like that. It's a scam.
Yeah,
it's like, It's like the same thing with the medical business where they price gouge on like care for diabetes and care for like insulin for like it's just it's not a scam. It's just there's a need and they're like people that are making it worth a lot more money or cost a lot more money than it's really worth.
Yeah, they capitalize on the need. They take advantage of it because that's what we are as a species.
See, this is a long shot away from being realistic. But if people only bought houses in cash,
you would never be able to buy a house.
But
that means the price of the house would have to come down to something that's a reasonable amount of cash.
It would, because the supply and demand imbalance would go way up on the supply, way down on the demand. If people were only buying houses that they could afford with their cash, then there would be a lot more vacancies, right?
I think there would just be a bunch of homeless people.
Said, Bullet, buy a house in cash right now.
I'm not going to because I can't afford one. But if there were...
I don't understand how it would work. I don't think it's a reasonable thing to say.
I mean,
are you saying like bring the price down or like... It
would if there were to be 150 million me's that were.
You're saying the price of houses will go down if people use cash?
If the demand, all right. So if people were using cash, you would obviously make the leap in assuming that they would have less to spend, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So the demand for housing would go down, right? Because there's not a bunch of people paying for houses with banks' money, right?
Well, why does that make the demand go down?
Because less people are buying houses.
But there's still going to be the demand to buy a house for like everyone's going to want a house still.
you're gonna want a house, but you're not going to demand a house if you cannot afford it.
So then, what do you?
So
So
you're saying eliminate loans for buying houses?
Sure, in this like pie in the sky like theory, yeah, like I understand that this will never happen, but imagine, if you will, a reality where people only buy houses that they can afford with their net worth.
I don't know if that's. I just can't even picture it. It sounds so unrealistic. Like I don't think they did that in like the 20s and the 10s.
2013 said, flippers use cash flip and resell more. Families would be pulling resources and higher focus on savings and less frivolous spending.
And I actually have what I think is a more realistic solution, and it's communal living. Now, this does not sound glamorous. Everybody wants a McMansion that they live in with their own family, which is usually like pretty small, maybe like a mother, a father, a son, and a daughter, or something like that, living in some gigantic house, right? But what if you and your three best friends, what if you and your three best friends bought a giant mansion and split it 4 ways?
I think it's fine, but you're forgetting that people want to get married and move out too eventually.
No, but this would.
It's like a commune.
You're saying you want to live like with your wife, with your friends?
Yes, this is very common in like Arab nations.
You
Like
want to be like an Arab nation?
Dude, they are extremely rich. They're not.
No,
They're
like a small portion are extremely rich.
But like these people that do this are not. They're not like shacking up in like a little like split level condo like this. They're shacking up in mansions, and they're just like having four or five families living in this mansion together.
I don't think that's a majority of the people.
Maybe not a majority, but do you think it's like? Do you think
think it's a lot of the people?
I don't even know if it's that much more cost effective.
Why not?
Because I feel like you either spend 4 times the money on a super, super large mansion or a quarter of the money on a place on your own.
It's a quarter on a place with people. It's not...
No, a quarter of, like you either spend 100,000 on your own place or 400,000 on a mansion with 4 other people. Either way, you're spending the same amount of money. I feel like that's how it works.
What if it were realistic that you could spend that money in cash, though? You could buy a mansion in cash, but split it with 4 other families.
Wouldn't you do the same with just a house by yourself then?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys said it's unrealistic to buy a house in straight cash. And
I think it's unrealistic I think both are unrealistic.
Yes.
I don't think it's unrealistic
to buy it in cash with the same amount of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you guys are assuming that like it is going to cost 4 times as much for a house that is bigger, but that's like not the.
It depends where you live.
Like you get a discount for buying a shelter in bulk, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's not like
I don't know if that's true.
It's not, but like, all right, like there you've seen shacks. There are shacks in America that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like if you go, yeah.
And believe me, I have like looked.
Suitor 2013 said, I've had friends whose parents would buy a house near their kids' college, then rent out the rooms to pay the mortgage while their kid went to school, then sold the house at a profit. They had money now.
Like I have researched houses in San Antonio and El Paso and Houston. It's for some reason the Texas housing market is absurdly reasonable. There are mansions.
You didn't even say like absurdly cheap. You're like reasonable.
Because people are leaving Texas because of terrible state laws. Same thing with Florida, and also insurance too. Okay. If you look in Texas, Florida, and California, I think it's like State Farm and 2 other major insurance companies don't take house insurance anymore.
Is that because of hurricanes?
Fires, hurricanes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like California's got forest fires all over the place.
There's
Yeah,
a forest
and
fire in
yeah.
Jersey right now.
Yeah.
Pretty big one.
The Barrens have
Mhm.
been, like, not-
Fires everywhere.
So
Which that's my hill I would die on, by the way.
which is what?
The world ending in the next like
What-
50
what
years.
hill are
So
you
Earth
on?
is the hill that you're gonna die on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yes.
How much should you spend on an engagement ring in good conscience? I think the tradition is 4 months' salary. Do you think that's
It was 3 months, but again, that was like just marketing scheme by De Beers.
Yeah.
well? I mean,
Like not, it's not like actually something most people really do.
You do what you can.
Yeah,
because
like the average cost is like 3,000, but I'm pretty sure the average salary makes more than 3,000 in 3 months.
so yeah, ballpark a figure, Trini. Do you think you should spend 3,000 on a ring?
I don't think there's a specific amount, but I feel like I would probably go into like 1,000, around 1,000 at most, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Peanut, what do you say?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's more about like the percentage of your money than how much the actual money is.
Well, that's why the traditional
3 months
rule of
is
thumb.
a lot.
I think 3 months is
That's
stupid.
a lot of your percentage.
Yeah.
That's too high.
I agree with that.
So, do you think 1,000 is a good
Well, that's like for me. That's not
Yeah.
like the amount that everyone should go by.
Yeah, like
If you
save
have less
like
money,
10 to
I would say.
15% for a few months. But like it also depends on like timing. Like if it's something that you're planning ahead for, then you probably can get a nicer ring because you're going to save over a longer greater period. But like, I don't think there has to be rules to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think I'm a silly, stupid man for wanting an engagement chain?
No. Interesting,
fair, right?
but like I would say it's reasonable.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna cheap out on my engagement ring.
You mean your chain?
No,
the ring that you're getting.
Yeah, I want a big beacon that tells every fucking pig man that she's taken. You know what I mean? And I want it to catch the eye of everybody in the room.
Just like your chain.
Yeah. Like, and I want to be treated the exact same. What do you guys think about push presents? Did we talk about this last time you were on?
Yeah, it also came up at work.
Shit, sorry.
It also came up in a conversation at work one day too.
Really?
Yeah.
What were the non-men saying about it?
Everyone just kind of agreed that it's a new thing and no one knows much about it.
But what did they think about its luster?
I mean, everyone agreed like it's not like it's ridiculous if you expect like a car or something like that, but like
it's probably a TikTok thing, isn't it?
It's definitely a TikTok thing.
What do you think? That's the hill I want. The hill I want to die on. TikTok is brain rot.
Social media is probably the real like end of society.
Like,
it all started going downhill when social media came.
There's kind of a necessity for it, but not like to the degree that everyone uses it.
Yeah, but like humans as a species don't have much self-control, so like it was always going to end like
that's
this.
Like with anything, that's not just like with overeating.
Yeah,
and
we can't have nice things.
We don't have limitations on things. Like we don't ever go for the middle ground. We always have to have too much. That's why we mine everything in Earth.
Yep.
For like everything it's got.
Yeah, destroy all the forests, mine all the minerals.
Yo, Connor, if you're watching, don't be a silent little cuck in the corner. Say hello.
What did he text?
Thought you fucking man is, you fucking schmagaloon. My push present is.
I'm gonna helicopter my fucking wiener in her face like champagne poppy. That is not gonna work.
That's your push present.
Wow.
Do you guys want a partner on a mission? Would you rather your partner make you their top priority or their mission their top priority?
See, like I want a middle ground.
Yeah,
Either
I agree, and I think
But
that's
why
the
does it gotta be
issue.
one extreme?
It's not like that's just like
It's like
it's
I
how
don't
we
want
got
them
here.
ignoring me, but I also don't want them like only focused on
Yeah.
me.
It's
Do you want-
happy middle ground.
Do you want to be their top priority?
In some
In a way,
cases,
like it kind of depends at the time. Like
It-
sometimes I want to
yeah.
be the top priority. Sometimes I want my alone time.
like
I don't know.
if you've been doing a lot on like your own job or goals or something, then at some point you need to pivot back. But it shouldn't. Nothing constant's healthy.
Mhm.
We were just talking about that.
All right. This is I feel like this is a good one to ask Peanut because I don't think you were here for this. So Peanut, you find true love, which you have, but you die.
But you die.
And the afterlife is real. You
Okay.
make it to heaven. How long after your death is it okay for your spouse to have coitus?
I don't know.
You're watching.
Yeah.
I would turn away.
You're gonna turn away from your spouse?
No, I'm not gonna watch them have sex. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Probably like I don't know. I wouldn't want if I were to pass away. I wouldn't want Katie to just be miserable forever.
No, but like, would you want her to have coitus a week later?
No. I would say like I don't know, 2 years,
2 years.
Wow.
a year.
Peanut's fucking chastise. Is it? What is the verb of chastity?
Chastising?
Is
I
he?
think
Is
that's
he?
the word.
Isn't chastising like to like
To-
shame somebody?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Peanut is like Peanut is
Ryan
chast.
McMillan said, 2 yes, sir.
Rye says 2 years.
Yeah.
2 yes.
All right, Turney, what do
Ryan
you?
McMillan said, 2 years. Wow.
I kind of agree, bro. If you
2 years
fucking
is a long time.
It is a long
If
time.
you fucking can get over my death, and
So what? Like a year and a half? It's not okay.
I think a year and a
Yeah.
half is reasonable.
Yeah, I think bare minimum a year. Bare minimum a
A
year.
year is a long time too.
Well, I mean, hopefully. What about you, Turney? What do you say?
Like it really doesn't matter since I'm dead, but like they can do whatever they want.
So
I
you
guess
say-
I would like it to be a little bit of time, like a month.
Joseph Fowler said, 6-8 months.
8 months. Hey, chat guys, thank you for
That's
chiming in.
fair.
I feel like we're not getting a very busy chat tonight, which it has its advantages and disadvantages. I love when the chat is engaged. What do
Were
you?
you just criticizing last week for being too engaged?
We did have a very active chat.
This
last
is
week.
why they feel reprimanded. They feel chastised.
But I mean, 7 days is reprehensible. My spouse better wait at least 12 months. At least 12 months.
Yeah, I feel like that's reasonable.
All right, so did you guys all see Mahomes versus Mustafa?
Yeah.
Peanut?
You
No.
probably don't even know what
Oh,
stuff it is.
that the goal line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bringing
I remember
up
seeing it live.
it's
too.
bringing up discussion on the internet that Mahomes is the peak male shape, though he has a dad bod. And I would love if there was a non-man on this show to talk about is the dad bod peak male shape.
I also still don't think he has a man bod. I think maybe that was a less flattering picture because I looked at other pictures. He does have some definition.
Probably.
Yeah, but I feel like there's definitely a good amount of quarterbacks out there who like. But yeah, no, a 6-pack doesn't do anything for your physical shape.
And he has like he has definition in his abs.
Yeah. If you look at the strongest men in the world, they're like bulky as fuck.
And they showed Mustafa and his like he's
like
ripped.
Mustafa's like
He's
jacked.
yes,
Yeah.
he's like DK.
and Mahomes bitch slapped him on the ground.
But like
dude.
Mahomes had momentum.
Yeah.
This guy
and he's
didn't.
much tall. Like he's got
Like,
more
and-
mass to him.
Yeah,
you know?
if they were charging at each other, Mahomes gets fucked up 10 out of 10 times.
Oh, I went
But-
I don't
that
know,
far.
man.
Maybe like 8 or so.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
sure.
He's not always getting fucked.
I don't know. I mean, this is my question. Like, is
I think if they're both going same speed, probably Mustafa wins. He's
Yeah.
younger.
Mahomes gets fucked
he's-
up. That was all
probably
about
has more-
angle and
That's
Yeah.
kind of just how
momentum.
football is.
Yeah.
It's angle, momentum,
Um,
and he was already in the end zone anyway.
Yeah.
Like Mustafa probably wasn't really trying that hard.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Well-
was going for the football.
like if you could choose to be built like Mustafa or built like Mahomes, who would you choose to look like? Like body wise.
I mean,
I guess Mustafa.
I would
probably.
probably go Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, he's just as much of an athlete and probably doesn't have to work nearly as
Yeah,
hard.
but if we're talking about appearance, right? Not how good they are as an athlete.
See, I think sometimes being built like an Adonis can actually intimidate non-men when
It's the same with like models can intimidate.
sure,
men.
yeah, like there is I think
Basically those would be male models.
yeah, like there's data to suggest that, like when a bunch of non-men are going out with their friends, the 10 doesn't necessarily get like approached and hit on at the bar. It's more the 6s and 7s because they're approachable. I think sometimes being near perfect is a disadvantage. It makes you kind of like unapproachable and unwelcoming.
I'm really curious that when you talk to the person who gave you this feedback and you just tell them that you use the word non-men just the entire I'm just curious what their reaction's going to be.
My guess is they're a fucking killjoy. They're they're a complicit detractor. That probably very difficult to please. Probably.
Why are you trying to please them?
That's a good question. It's a very good question because I aim to please. I'm sorry. I don't want to alienate one of the 169 subscribers that we have, and for all I know, them may have unsubscribed. I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah, if eventually I'm going to have enough subscribers that I don't have to do fuck all to please any one of them. But right now we're fragile. We're small. We're a startup. We need to not make enemies right now. We need to not make moves. We need to
not make noise. I thought you kind of need to make noise to move up.
You do.
We do, but we're right now we're just a David, and we're going against the Goliath of the internet. That is just a bunch of raging feminists.
Ryan McMillan said pandering.
Yes.
Speaking of pandering, this is Judge Joe Brown on pandering Kamala.
I mean, why do you need a bathtub? What are you supposed to be, the cook for the whole dorm or something? That's just beyond belief. That's that's just pandering. That's like carrying hot sauce in your purse. Like you, I carry hot sauce in my purse. See, I identify. No, you a lying apple.
Whoa.
That's about Kamala character saying she washes her collard greens in the bathtub. She's just trying to pander to the black audience. That's all that is. Speaking of pandering, I have a theory that Taylor and Travis are together. Have I talked to you about this, Peanut?
I don't think so.
Okay, I have a theory that Taylor and Travis are together to bring non-men into the NFL viewership and to bring Southern Missourites and Southern men to vote for Kamala. Does it sound and I believe this theory will be confirmed 100% if they break up right after the election. If not, there's a possibility that they're truly in love. But what do you think? Do you think I need a tinfoil hat?
I mean, I think it's unlikely, but I can't say it. If it does seem a little weird,
A little tinfoil hatty.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much about voting for Kamala as much about Roger Goodell just wants the NFL to take over the world.
Yes. I mean, yes. Have you seen all of Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriends?
Yeah.
They're like nothing like Taylor Swift. They're
No.
like I think a lot of them are ethnic. A lot of them are
They like Instagram models.
probably, but that
No one's going to compare to Taylor Swift. She literally owns the world.
Yeah. But she's extremely petite, has like no ass, and like all of his other girlfriends were these big, voluptuous, like ethnic women that he was with. It's just, I don't know. It seems unnatural. Maybe he's with her now because he's like super high status or whatever, but I don't know. Should I get a tinfoil hat?
No, I don't think you need a full tinfoil hat. I think there's a chance. I think you're likely wrong, but I it's not the craziest thing.
Do you think I'll seem like, in the event that the election occurs and then they immediately break up, might I seem a little more right?
I would say maybe there's a chance.
Okay. What age ought a person be able to transition their gender?
18.
Yeah, that's like pretty much the agreed upon consensus. What if they have parental consent?
I feel like you should probably wait until you're 18.
Journey?
They would also need doctor consent too.
Well, isn't the doctor the one performing the surgery?
Yeah, they would need to consent on it too.
Yeah, like they're not gonna you're not gonna like shove a scalpel in a doctor's hand and be like, perform the surgery.
Exactly.
So like if they are getting the surgery, they have the doctor's consent.
Then yeah, like 18.
Is it fair for a male to transition their gender and compete against other non-males in athletics?
No, actually, that's the one place where I think we probably need to get. Like, I'm all about you making your own choice, and I feel like you need to be a little more careful in sports.
So they should be prohibited from competing in non-men sports?
I don't think it's a blanket statement. But, like, I think, like, when you're looking at things like the Olympics and, like, super competitive stuff, I think you need to be careful, yeah.
What say you, Journey?
Ryan McMillan said, "Bigot."
Bigot, says Ryan.
Expect that.
I think they go around with what is currently taking place in some of like athletics is where they use hormonal blockers to have their hormone levels similar to women. Same with the other way around. It's kind of like having extra testosterone is kind of like having a performance enhancing drug.
Is it happening the other way around?
To what, like have
are females transitioning to men and competing in?
Yeah, there are examples of that.
I've also seen examples. I'm sure it's the less likely occurrence, though. Bullock, this is probably my last question.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah. All right. Actually, we are basically done. I'm gonna wrap it up.
All right.
All right. Can I get some closing remarks from you all?
Like what?
I mean, do you want to say anything? Thank anybody?
Thank you to our fans that are watching.
I was just going to say, fuck Northern Illinois. That was going to be my closing remarks.
Who were they? The Huskies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, "Damn it, I'm late. Love all of you."
Jesus, persona, what about you so late? That's all you want to say is fuck Northern Illinois?
And Texas Tech.
All right. Journey, you just want to thank our fans?
And Kate for coming in. It was late. Thanks, Rye, for coming in too.
Well,
and
guys,
all of it.
Yeah, the archives will be available. I hope you guys all enjoy watching in retrospect. All right. Well, let's say once again, we want to humbly thank our listeners and pay them ample gratitude for their patronage. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such a high quality interactive show. So thank you, audience.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep.
I'd like to take this time to remind all of our listeners that we're spreading like a virus. The Good Faith Podcast is now officially on YouTube Live with video, as well as archived there, and also Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, RSS.com, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, and Patreon. Fuck Deezer and TuneIn. They're fucking bitches. I don't even know who the fuck they are. A bunch of fucking nobodies. On Patreon, we're working to build additional value for the multiple tiers of donors with special content, guidance, super chat priority, and VIP in-person meetings. Plus, maybe we'll have a members-only Discord that I'm, not going to nominate anyone to do right now to moderate. Peanut, would you want to become a Patreon subscriber?
What's that?
It's 99 cents a month, and I'll fucking put I'll put a picture of you on the board or something. You can say
You'll write his name on your arm.
Yeah, I think I can sponsor you.
Yeah, all right, dude. I'll do something in your honor on our wall or something. We can discuss the honor of that. But you just go to. I got all the links in the description of this episode. Patreon.com/C/The Good Faith Podcast. And if you do that, you can become an extremely respected member of our community. We do value your guys' attention. Thank you for quieting your TikTok brain for the last 2 hours and 21 minutes. This is a reminder, if you feel you got any value from our show, it takes basically zero extra work to like and subscribe, and it will move us closer to our goal of having hundreds of subscribers, which will bump us up in the algorithm and expose us to more potential listeners. If you guys want to share us with more of your friends, we would be absolutely delighted to extend our outreach. The quickest way for us to broaden our exposure is for you listeners to each share us with one friend. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And make a fucking burner account. Make it like some silly name. And something that'll make us laugh. Rye, I hope you're doing that. Please. If you're interested in joining our movement, the hashtag is IRYOBYOI, right? AWMO. Journey, what is that?
Iriubiamo.
I respect your opinion only because it aligns with my own movement. Feel free to retweet the hashtag. Also, stay cognizant to treat people with identical worldviews to your own with dignity and respect. Then, if somebody's opinion deviates from yours in any way, our movement advocates for treating them like absolute shit. Remember, a civil level of respect is only earned by people who mirror your beliefs. IRYOBYOIAWMO. Journey?
Iriubiamo.
If you live in the greater Philadelphia area and want to guest star on the show, want to go on a date with anybody on the show, or have a sincere desire to move in with us, we are down a roommate and desperately need one. Please reach out to us in an Instagram DM at Christopher Bulick. That's also my Venmo. All proceeds that this show generates will go towards rent, food, electricity, new computer equipment to improve our general show quality and Clark's medical expenses.
I open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions.
Oh, I like money.
To all of our faithful audience,
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep.
we wish you a wonderful weekend and a happy and healthy lifestyle to
Ryan
you all.
McMillan said, the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Hose. Ryan, please make a burner account. Name it something super, super funny. And to all you guys, we want to wish you goodbye. Hashtag long live Punjabi.
So there's Bobby Hirsch, who is a fencing F2M athlete. There's Chris Mosier, who's a triathlete, duathlete, and race walker.
A race walker?
Also a triathlete and duathlete.
That's such a non-man sport.
He's a Team USA Sprint Duathlon men's team for 2016 World Championship. I think there was a swimmer too, but I can't find that.
All right. See you, Attorney.
See ya.
Peace out, book.
Peace, King.
Till next time.
Yeah, thank you for coming, yo.
Yeah. I think Shane and Susan would be a very interesting group of guest speakers on your panel. I could also